You struggling with your relationships, not just one relationship, but maybe one or two or a few, and it's really impacting you mentally. Well, today I'm going to talk about working on your relationships and the impact on your mental health. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. If you want to connect with me further, you can also find me on social media. I have linked my socials in the show notes below. What I found, relationships, not just like intimate and romantically, although that can be probably the biggest one that really can, alongside the parent sort of relationship for me. But I found all sorts of relationships really impact me mentally when they're in a good way and a bad way, when they, when you've got that right support around you or that loving connection that you can really feel, that can really impact me mentally in a great way. But also when it's not, it can impact me really negatively in a way. I achieve many things, but when I achieve many things and go out and do them, if I've got no one to share them with, I don't feel so good, right? So relationships for me has been a really big impact one. I've also felt like not heard by people, even when people have had good intentions, like people really close to me, they're like, oh, I really want to be there for you. And that's great that they're open to talk, but it's not helped me in the sense when they're not actually present and they're just trying to offer solutions rather than holding the space. So actually finding people in the world and in my life who've been able to hold the space when I've needed them to me has been really important. So therefore I've been able to express myself, which strengthens my relationship with myself, also express myself to me, but yeah, also develop my relationships rather than holding it in and having people not listen. Now, what I've observed is the world is screaming out a lot of the time for this like love and connection. Social media is great, connects us, but it doesn't create true connection. And often, so many people are glued to their phones. I'm guilty of using my phone as anyone, but I do find time out for real connection with people where I can put my phone away and with myself, and that's really built a stronger connection with me and others as a result. And maybe you're impacted by a lack of connection or your relationships is not helping. Well, I just wanted to go through a few points that I feel really have helped me with my relationships and therefore my mental health. So the first thing is be clear on the relationships you want in your life, right? Often this goes for like, this is a general thing, but we focus on what we don't want. It's like, well, I don't want that person because they're like mean, horrible, or like, I don't want these kind of people in my life. Well, what do you want? Focusing on what you do want is really a different question and a different direction. You're going to start searching for new answers and new people and new opportunities to grow relationships with people if you ask yourself what you want in terms of relationships. So get very clear, what do you want in all your relationships, that's possible. What do you want with your family? What do you want with your friends? What do you want in a partner, right? What do you want in all your relationships? What do you want in your working relationships? The second one, this is the critical one. Like, how can you improve the relationship you have with yourself? Because if you don't improve that relationship with yourself, then how are you going to have that foundation, that base for being there for others? And then the third thing, how can you find more opportunities to build networks and communities with other people? Think about the activities you like and find opportunities to do those a little bit more. And then the fourth thing to ask yourself is, what or who do I need to cut out, even if it's hard, right? Maybe someone is just pure mean to you. Well, how can you cut them out of your life, or how can you at least do something about that? What can you do to cut out maybe a toxic relationship, not necessarily an intimate relationship, but any kind of toxic relationship in your life, so that you're giving you more of what you need, bringing in more love? Because if you've got a life full of bad, negative relationships, it's going to be hard to allow like love in and connection in. So I've got a final point I want to share with you as well. Just before I get onto that, I also want to mention that if you want to connect with me more on social media, you can do that by clicking the links in the show notes below. My final one is it's a bit of guidance I've received from a couple of personal growth events, and I've done it for myself, and it's really useful. Is writing a letter to myself, writing down a letter so that if I was writing someone I had a bit of a bad relationship, I'd write it, and it creates like an energetic release of maybe negative energy, because writing out is a form of expression. Or maybe make a video or recording. You don't have to send it to them. If you feel you want to, you can do, of course. But expressing is really, I believe, an energetic way of creating better relationships, because you allow that energy to come out of you so that you can connect more with others as well. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people in your life by working yourself as a man. And remember to lead with your heart, not with fear.